Well, the greatest train that ever run down America's railroad track was the Orange Blossom Special, bringing my baby back. From New York to Miami, you could see them drivers roll, but the Orange Blossom Special don't stop Waldo anymore.
Hey everybody, it's Lydia, the TallyStitcher, back with Flosstube number 9. Yeah, we're almost in to double digits. So it's Saturday, April 17th, 2021, and as you can tell, my brain's already all over the place. I did try to make a list so we can stick to things. It's been a little minute since we've had the last Flosstube. I guess it was just right at the end of March. Kind of been a bit of busy, but also a bit of other projects popping up, kind of interrupting that really nice week by week Flosstube, but maybe that was too ambitious. So I'm also at the point where I think a lot of us get to, where we have a bunch of starts and a lot of whips, but hardly any of them look like any progress is getting done. So we're like, oh, why would we even show that? And despite the fact that I was going to try to just focus on specific things, that doesn't happen. Let's be real, it doesn't happen. So, I don't know what the regular schedule will be for Flosstube updates, because, yeah, we got busy at work. It's just, completely anticipated busyness. I help coordinate a very large contest around this time of year, so there's a lot of moving parts and people and emails and stuff, and so even though it's not like physically draining, I guess, it's still a lot of energy, so I haven't been stitching as much, also because we got our big hurdle of having the wedding reception. And I'm the kind of person who needs like a big project to work on with a goal or a deadline. I really thrive under that. And so the next big thing is we need to move. Sometime this summer. I've been in the same duplex for 8 years now. It is a 1-1, which was functional enough for just me. But and my cat, and then I got 2 cats, and then I got a husband. So, since my husband moved in, we've always struggled with the space because, we have a lot of hobbies that have a lot of accessories, and there's not a great ton of storage here. Plus there's no washer and dryer, or dishwasher. The dishwasher thing is only a problem not because I don't mind washing dishes by hand, because I really don't. But the kitchen is tiny. There's no real countertop space. There's no pantry. So there's a lot of things that had to get, worked around, and they just don't work anymore. They don't work anymore. So we're really focused on getting moved by the end of the summer would be nice. So I've started contacting properties and touring properties. I have a good feeling about a place we're going to see on Tuesday. So fingers crossed that it's good vibes if you're watching this and it's Tuesday, that we get this new to us place. And then I'll be in big packing mode, or big putting off packing mode, which might result in more cross stitch. So you'll be able to see that project unfold. And then hopefully in a few months, you'll see a different setup. You'll see someplace new. Sometimes I flip the camera and I film in front of the bookcases that are across from me, but everything got gathered over here today. So this is where we're going to go. So even though we're coming up on Maynia, and even though I didn't need to, I saw something amazing. My husband sent me this, he was off work and he sends this message to me, and it's a link, and it's to a free cross stitch pattern that Whataburger has released. And this isn't the whole thing, but like I said, it's free. But it's their French fries. And if you like Google Whataburger cross stitch, it pops up. It actually has a beautiful little flower border that goes around it. And you know, somebody, it looks like they use stitch fiddle. I'm not gonna lie. Somebody went in there and they did this. So I love Whataburger. I did not grow up with Whataburger. I grew up in Central Florida where there weren't any at the time I was there. So like my favorite fast food joint was, you know, Checkers. And Checkers is still like one of my big three. Like I can put away some Checkers fries. But Whataburger, it's up here in the Panhandle, and I moved up here to go to college, to go to undergrad. And you know, I'm like, oh, look at these new restaurants. And Whataburger was one of them. And because it was college, you know, your girl really enjoyed that after some late nights, perhaps out on the town. Anyway, love Whataburger. My husband and I love it to this day. It's just it's a comfort food at this point. It's like, if you want something that you know is going to be pretty decent, usually, all right, we're going to Whataburger, and there's one right around the corner from our house. So, with that being said, I had a new start. I was very overly ambitious, thinking I could get this thing done for y'all, because I started this like Thursday night. No, I'm not that far, but I still wanted to start. So this is a part of the Whataburger fry. I don't know if we should call it the Whatasal or the Whatastitch. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if it should be Whatasal or Whatastitch. By the way, welcome to my channel. This is a mostly cross-stitch channel. Welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you're strapped in for this. Most of the stuff I show is cross-stitch related, but my husband and I are both cross-stitchers. He also has gotten big into knitting. I show some of the other crafts I randomly do sometimes. And yeah, we have a good time, as I like to say. So, that being said, of course I had to do a coats conversion of this because I have a huge bag of Grabble assorted vintage coats, and I think there's some Sullivan in there too. So I just use that to adapt to different things. So this is using coats 224 skein there, and it'll have some yellows and stuff that I'll pull out a little bit later. But here's my start. So this is work from a little tiny bit on Thursday night. Most of this was done yesterday. And then today I haven't yet put the needle to the thread. I'll probably work on it later. But yeah, I'm going to stitch an outline around the box. This kind of tannish color you see is actually considered stitch as opposed to like the color of a fabric. I'm not going to do that. At least I don't think I'm going to do that, but who knows? This is just some scrap Aida that I had sitting around. It's 16 count. And yeah, just boogieing along for funsies. Maybe this is a pre-Maynia start, but I hope I'm going to challenge myself to try to maybe finish it this week. That way I can have a finish to show y'all. And I'll probably adapt it even more just because that's who I am. I don't know if I want to write like welcome, what a welcome. I don't know. Maybe for the new house, I'll have this thing. Anyway, I'm having fun. We're getting back into it. We're getting stitchy. We're having fun. So that was the first one. Now back into the regular whip rotation. I fuss around with stuff here. Y'all haven't seen this in a little bit because it was out of its hoop and it's still behind, but I'm still working through, what is this? Whatever. I'm still working through the Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 Stitch Along March. I haven't gotten to April yet, and that's okay. But I did put some stitches. I've got the main motif almost pretty much done for this March one. So this is the March section here that I've been working on. I forget when I pulled this out. I keep not bringing my planner home where I mark what days I work on stuff, but you haven't even, I think, seen any bit of this. Or if you did, it was a tiny start a couple Flosstubes ago. So there we go. So this is the March section, the Fruits of Plenty Sal. It's MFE Sal 2021 on social media. This is a chocolate raspberry 16 count, and then the threads are DMC 3776 and 3771. I'll keep poking along at this. I don't know if I'll get caught up, honestly, especially after May, because, you know, despite rational thinking where it's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't jump into Maynia, we're not doing that. We're not rational around here. So yeah, I still really like stitching this. Goodness gracious, you can see a little bit more of that going on in there. I still really enjoy this. It stitches up so lovely, and Jacob did a great job putting this one together for us. I don't think I have any alterations to this section. I had added a few in the February one. But yeah, so I'll keep poking at that like I poke at everything else. And the next one is, that you saw, was my Mirabilia Scent of Old Roses. Of course, that reminds me to tell you guys of something else. So this is Scent of Old Roses. This was a birthday start, and I put some thread in there. Let me make a little note first, so I don't forget about this. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so so this is where I'm at for Scent of Old Roses. So I put in probably this big green chunk since you last saw it, maybe even a bit of this brown one, and then this very pale yellow is a bit that I put in there. Oh, and this really, really dark green up here too. So yeah, I put several strands of stuff in there. For this one, I had gotten a hummingbird minder because I want to add hummingbirds to this. I saw it was done that way on a Instagram, and of course I picked up the hummingbird one, and I somehow lost the magnet, like lost forever into the void. No idea where it could be. So the hummingbird, it's an old brooch that they converted, and I think it's over on the desk, and I haven't been able to use it with this. So bit of a bummer, but it'll get fixed, especially because I have the need to get some magnets and some, you know, fixatives, and I'll show you all that in a little bit. But yeah, so that's my little progress on Scent of Old Roses. This is pretty much the middle of her dress, or her coat. And the other side of the coat looks like this. It's a very symmetrical pattern, which I really like. I don't know. It speaks to me. So there was that one. And now I double watched, or I rewatched my last Flosstube to see if I'd actually had any progress on the Katana since I showed you. Because I know I told you that I was going to put the tower in. The tower has not been put in, but I actually did some work on it. It's back, because it is back in its hoop, and I put in the bit of this roof here. Hang on, I want to show y'all. In case you're new around here, this is the Katana. This was my first cross stitch pattern that I designed. I have started designing cross stitch patterns of historic architecture. So here's the Katana. Here's what it's going to look like. So I've gotten all of this done and started working on this roof. So that's what you're seeing. So there we go. You can get a hold of this pattern if you rewatch my Flosstubes, or if you visit my Etsy shop at TallyStitcher Designs. A portion of the proceeds will get donated to the Florida Trust for Historic Preservation. So let's get back over here. So yeah, so I guess I had put on that roof, which is pretty nice. Maybe one of those windows got put in at the top there. So I'm working on that, working on boogieing through. There's some more greenery that I think goes right here. And then the actual Katana sign goes back up here. So I'll finish the building, and then I'll go back and probably add in the sign at some point. I'm not sure well, the priority is to have the model done to put up in the Etsy so people know what that looks like. So yeah, so that's the Katana. It's the Ringling Art Museum, or it's the State Art Museum. It's at the Ringling Museum, the Ringling House. John Ringling was a bit of a diva, and he called it the Katana, which is Venetian for the House of John. There you go. And I haven't shown you this one in a while because it also didn't have a lot of movement to it because it's tiny, and I have to stitch it. I mostly stitch it when I'm at the in-laws because they have great lighting and better seating setup than I do. Sorry, I got all sorts of stuff going on here, guys. There we go. Okay, so this is my second design that I finished up. And this is, let's see here. Bear with me, y'all. I was mostly organized, but this is as much as I can get together. All right. This is the Bach Tower. So this is the singing tower at Bach Mountain Lake Sanctuary Gardens in Lake Wales. If you've never been to Florida, it's very flat here. There is not much sea elevation, but there are a couple really big hills, and they call them mountains. Anyway, so this was a tower that was built in the 1930s on top of one of our higher elevations. Like, it might be 200 some odd feet above sea level. And the guy picked it, you know, to be able to look over his gardens. And this is where I've gotten, so this is on 25 count lugana in like storm cloud or something. Boop. Tiny. Tiny, tiny. It also looks wackadoo. It doesn't look like anything. So it hurts. Pull that. That doesn't work very well. Better over here? Maybe. Okay, so this is a big bushy area that I have been avoiding putting in because, like, I don't want to work on the garden. I want to work on the tower. But I did put in this part of the palm tree starting up here. And then this is the part of the tower. So about to here is about halfway, I think. So the tower is going to be like that big. And there's some more garden over here. So the whole tower will fit in this bit. And it's done with, it's done with a mixture of DMC and Weeks Dye Works. My intention was to use the variegated floss to give the appearance of marble. It kind of works on this scale. I think if this was on like a 20 count and still being done, you could do it 1/1 or 2/1. So if it was just slightly larger, then I think the variegation would come through even more. But I'm not working in the super duper highly variegated ones right now, so I'm not sure. I can still tell it's happening. And I think overall it's still going to look great. But it's been exciting working on that. I had to learn how to do the single strand loop start because that's my preferred method of starting, so I've gotten to be good at that. And yeah, so this is also available in my shop if you're interested in purchasing this. And there's some different, I have different measurements in there to show y'all like how big it will be if you stitched it on 16 count, 18 count, and then 25 count. But, you know, for myself, I was like, let me try 25 count. And I'm like, this is small, but it's fine. I still am enjoying it. And once you get the rhythm down, because it's kind of blocky, you know, it goes pretty quickly. Mostly I was getting used to cutting my strands pretty much in half from what I'm used to, like, you know, getting my 18-inch long or, you know, 36-inch strands to stitch on. I usually stitch on 16 count, but now I only need like whoop, and that like finishes the section I'm working on. So interesting learning process, and I still think it's going to be gorgeous. So yeah, I work on that on Sundays, although we are starting another Pathfinder group that will be meeting on Sundays. I'm not sure of the frequency, but that will definitely change how often the Bach Tower gets worked on for now. If in our new place later this year has better lighting, / we have a better like setup to work on it, then maybe it'll get more rotation during the week. But right now there's just not a great place. Everything, you know, in my living room is super not task oriented, and it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so glad to see that. I think that's everything that I've worked on. I did put Buddha away for a while, so he was what I worked on during Stitch Asia in March. So that he's come out of his hoop and he's back in the whip storage area, and he'll come out, you know, when he feels like coming out. Probably during a whip parade. I need to see if people do like mid-year whip parades, or if we always only do it at the end of the year. What do you do? Do you like quarterly whip parades? Biannual whip parades? Annual? Do you never whip parade? That way nobody can see how many things you've started and haven't done anything with, like my Japan skyline that I got for my birthday that still only has like 11 stitches in it. I'm looking at you. But related to that, actually, is a little bit of haul that has come in. This isn't really residual birthday haul. It's just a couple things that I've been picking up as you do. There's only a couple things. So there was a free pattern that went around that's like a it's kind of like a Quaker sampler, but it's round, and I saw that, and it's in like pinks and reds, not quite Valentine's, but I downloaded it during Valentine's Day, and I was like, okay, well, I'll do that sometime. And I had been eyeballing this fabric on a Etsy shop anyway, and I'm pretty sure I haven't shown you guys this, but I'm gonna pull it up anyway. Maybe I have, but I'll show it to you just for a second then, I guess. So this is some vintage, I think I did show you guys this. This is some vintage 25 count Zweigart Lugana. Yeah, I think I did. Now I remember. It's all coming back to me. That I'd gotten this because I love the fact that it's called Antique Bone. And it's so old, it was made in West Germany. So, on the packaging there, it was made in West Germany. I don't know if you can see that. But, yeah. So, that came at some point since I last saw you. It looks like it was scheduled to ship by March 25th. So, it probably did arrive after we did that Flosstube. But, I don't know. So, I got this because I've been eyeballing it. And I wanted to get something. And it has a vague, warm tone to it. I think it'll be fine for this Quaker sampler. I'll show y'all the pattern at some point, I guess, especially when I start it. But that's what I got that for. Even though I was just complaining about the 25 count for Bach Tower, but I just gotta suck it up. It's not that it's difficult, it's just me being lazy. Actual related haul was this little needle minder, which is tiny. I got this to work with the Japan skyline because it's a little koinobori, which is he's kind of tealish blue. Koinobori are those like almost like sock style wind catchers, wind streamers. They're used during the Japanese celebration of the child, and so you'll usually see a pole that has several of these streamers, and sometimes like another fancy thing. And there's colors coded to mom, dad, brother, sister, or just whatever you want. One of my coworkers has done a craft for this, so maybe I'll bring home the craft and show you. But there's one of these in the Japan skyline by the governor, kind of hanging like this, which is another way they can hang. And so I was like, oh, I'll get one of those as a needle minder. So that came in, although I've been using it with somebody else. I think I've been using it with the Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along. It just gets applied where it gets applied. And I had a little bit of floss haul, which took me forever to find my little baggie. Oh no, and now I can't find it again. Oh my goodness gracious. It's a tiny bit of floss haul. Where did I put it? I got it. We got it. Okay. This is for, and I'll talk about my Maynia starts, but this is going to be for my Memorial Day start. So if you cruise back a couple episodes, I show the fabric that this is going to go with. It's an opalescent something or other, maybe a opalescent mushroom. But I just got these. I think, were these the ones that we got right before the wedding reception? I don't know when I got these, y'all. We go to Joann's like it's a date night spot. Like, we're there all the time. But I got these. I think I had like it was like a half off everything, or everything was, maybe it was like a 40-cent skein sale. I don't know. But those are going to be a small part of the kitting up of the Memorial Day start, which right now, yes, I'm calling it that instead of something that it actually is. I don't know if y'all can ever look at what, you know, I'm showing and be like, oh, I know exactly what it's going to be used for, but you may not with that. The only real clue, I guess, is Memorial Day start, but even that's not really a clue. But that was the last of the haul, I guess. So just a little tiny bit. This isn't really haul, but my mom gave us this during all of the hullabaloo of the wedding reception. She picked this up, probably thrifted, and she gave it to me, and I totally blanked on showing it to you guys last time. It is, let me check out the year on this. It is from 1999. It's the Cross Stitch Country Charm book. A lot of cutesy little things in here. I can't really show you these pages because they're all patterns. So, but there's cute little bird houses, flowers. There is a section that has some dinosaurs, so that's probably why she got it for me and my husband, because we both are huge dinosaur fanatics. I'm trying to show y'all just something, but like every page has a pattern on it, and a good size pattern too. So they're kind of they're not exactly our style because they're a little, I would say they're too simple for what we usually head for, but like cute stuff like this, you know. Apparently Noah of Noah's Ark has a rainbow coat, maybe for the rainbow. That tracks. I was like, why is Noah wearing Joseph's coat, but he's not. Anyway, so there's some cute stuff in here. So we'll look through it some more. I think looks like there's an angel in there too. But thanks, Mom, for enabling. We're enabling her too. She brought up her project that she's working on now that she's into cross stitch. She said that she had done it years and years ago, probably in high school. But you know, watching us stitch up stuff, she kind of got back into it, and she's been working on bird themed things, so she brought up the bird thing she was working on. So cool. All right, where are we at? We are moving along. So, oh yes, one final cool, awesome, amazing thing. So since people like to match their needle minders with their projects, of course I've been looking for something for the Bach Tower. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with getting something for the Bach Tower. I did not look at all for the, well, I probably looked for a little bit for the Katana, but mostly I was like, Bach Tower, Bach Tower, Bach Tower, because I'm obsessed. And I was looking for like maybe an old magnet or like an enamel pin or something, some kind of souvenir I could convert. And I know a woman who runs a vintage Floridiana souvenir Etsy shop, and I had reached out to her and I was like, hey, have you ever seen something like these of the Bach Tower? And she says, I haven't. I got like salt and pepper shakers and handkerchiefs and stuff, and but I haven't seen like a pin or anything. And I was like, it's weird because it's such an easy souvenir. And she's like, yeah. She's like, well, I'll keep an eye out. And then a couple weeks later, she's like, will this work? After I explained to her what the needle minder was. And she had found this. Oh man, I don't know if the camera's can do the thing. Anyway, ta-da! She found this. This is an old, like seamstress's measuring tape. It's broken as measuring tape. There used to probably be a tab here that you could pull the tape out with, and it was retractable because it has a little button that would retract it. But the tab has come off, which means you can't really get to the stuff inside. But look, perfect, perfect. I'm not sure what kind of surgery I'm going to do to it to make it into a needle minder. Only because, yes, I can stick a magnet on the back to get it to stick onto the fabric, but I don't know if it'll be strong enough to get through the front bit to actually hold a needle. But that's what my project's going to be, to figure out how to make that stick. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw a better picture of this. It is a little dark, like maybe whatever resin they put over the image has yellowed over time. But how amazing is that? So she said it came to her in a dream. No, she said it popped up, and she got it, and she's like, well, I got it for you, because I remember that, and I was like, amazing. So, yay! So it'll go with that once I get it all magnetized. The husband says to use epoxy, so we'll see. We'll see. Whoop. I'll get that later. Okay. That's all. That's some more of the exciting stuff. Okay. Let's show the husband's work of the week before I get into Maynia Plans. He's still been doing a lot of knitting, which I still feel uncomfortable grabbing because needles and stuff. But he has 3 different socks working with different knits. I think he's been focusing on the socks. He's got 1 pair going for him. I guess 2 pairs going for him, 1 pair going for me. I think he's been working on the one for him the most. There was another hat that he cast on that's somewhere. Mostly he's figuring out kind of like what his favorite sweet spot is for like needle size and yarn type and patterns and stuff. So he's working on, he's gotten to a heel flap on one of them. Awesome. Yeah. And I guess he's tried on that part of the sock, so he knows it fits at least up his calf. But like I said, I'll show you those when they're like done. That way I don't feel like I'm picking up spider webs to show you. But he still also has been interlacing that with cross stitch. So last time I showed you a start that he had, and this is what he's been mostly stitching on, because he's boogieing along. I think he's over a third of the way done with this, according to Pattern Keeper. So this is the relatively small Red Ship of Life by Ink Circles. And he's made tons of progress. So last time you saw it, there was like these 2 bands and maybe like this little guy. So he's gotten all of this in here, all these little motifs. He's got this little man. He's got this dragon peacock looking thing. I think he said this is the start of the ship with a little crow's nest and a flag. Some little goosey friends here. A chicken. And yeah, so this is on 32 count natural linen. In the red is DMC 666, and then he's got 2 different variegateds up here that I will put in the description bar below. I think they're in the one from the previous video as well. But yeah, he's been really plugging away at this. I think he wanted to try to finish it this month. He's a beast, so it's quite possible. I don't know, because we don't have tomorrow for him to sit there and do it. I don't know. But excellent work for him. He does plan on doing all 3 of the red ships of life in the different sizes. Because that's who he is. He's a completer. So, excellent for the husband's work of the week. Ta-da! Okay. So, we also got our first COVID shots, y'all. We got those on Thursday. So, I think I feel a little groggy still from that. It wasn't terrible. My arm doesn't even hurt anymore. It hurt last night, but today it's fine. I did just take some ibuprofen though. So I've been a little groggy all day. But it could be the weather. It could be just being tired. It could be anything. Anything. Because once you're over 30, you're tired for any reason. You just like, all right, this is who I am now. But I have identified how I'm going to do my Maynia and what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to do like 15 new starts in the first 15 days or a new start every day or some of the other ways people do Maynia. I'm going to do 4 new starts for the 4 weeks in May. Most of them are going to be Saturday starts. Except for the Memorial Day start because that's a Monday. So finally I'm going to start my Carolyn Manning Desert Dawn that I've been teasing y'all with forever. I'll start this. I've got 95% of the floss all ready to go. I've had the fabric. I've got the needle minder. We are so ready, y'all. So I'll start that. May Uno is when that one's going to start. And then the next week, I think I have written in my planner to start the Mark Hopkins Residence. So this was a kit that I got off of Mercari. It happened to pop up and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I would love an original kit of a Debbie Patrick. So super excited to start that one. It's on just a white whatever count that is. I haven't even opened this yet, y'all. I'm just waiting. So that's awesome. I think when I first got this, I gave y'all a little history lesson on what all I found out about the Mark Hopkins residence. So if you go back and find that one, I'm not sure which Flosstube mentioned it in. If I didn't go off on all of the wildness of this family, remind me and I will renew the wildness of the story of this. So excited to start that. I have made a promise to myself to finish designing my third Florida historic site by when I need to start this, and that is the Pfeiffer Chapel at Florida Southern College. It's a Frank Lloyd Wright designed building. He called that whole campus the Children of the Sun. There are, I think, 8 or 9 Frank Lloyd Wright buildings on Florida Southern College campus. It's the largest clustering of his works in the world. I visited the Pfeiffer Chapel in 2010 for spring break for a project I was working on during undergrad, and it's fascinated me ever since. It was a gorgeous experience. It was kind of not quite raining, but raining just enough to make everything kind of glowy and slick. And you know how there's a point sometimes when it's raining where everything is actually brighter almost? That's how it was this whole day. And although I can't render this in my pattern at the scale I'm doing the building, if you look up pictures of the Pfeiffer Chapel, it has what he called keys, and they are these little squares of stained glass in the bricks, in the concrete bricks he's created, that the light shines through when you're on the inside, but from the outside. It's amazing. It just I mean, a religious experience, which just makes sense because it's a chapel. But every place of his I visited, whether it's intentionally religious or not, has felt like a spiritual experience. So I am pretty close to being done with that pattern. I gave a preview on my Instagram if y'all follow me on there. I mostly just need to work out a couple more details. I bought a bunch of the floss the other day. I showed y'all that, I think. If I didn't show you, I'll show you now. I think I showed y'all though. Oh, I guess I brought this over here to show y'all how it's going to work with the fabric. So I had mentioned that I bought a bunch of the floss, and that I thought that this blue piece of fabric that I got in that other random Mercari haul was going to work. It's gonna be great. Doo-doo. So this was in a grab bag that I got, and I believe it is, we've determined it's 28 count. So I'm going to do it 2/2, I think. I did the math. And then I don't know how to show y'all the floss against this, but like I did a grab bag, or grabbed the floss that I knew was kind of in the picture that I'm going to apply. So it's a lot of these really warm tans and light browns, and then the reds for the accent pieces. So it's going to look great on this. I am excited. So I'll finish the pattern. I will plug in the correct colors identified, and then if I need to go grab some more, I'll make that run closer to the start. So that'll be the 3rd week in May that I start the Annie Pfeiffer. Maybe I'll have the Katana done by then. Maybe. Sorry for the crinklies, y'all. Alright, so, and then I have that 4th start, Memorial Day start, secret start. I think y'all be excited to see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it for that one. I've got the fabric, I've got some of the floss, I've got most of the stuff figured out that I need for it. So, yeah. We're also planning on maybe visiting my mom that weekend, since we're going to be fully vaccinated by then. So it may be ambitious to try to do a Memorial Day start, because we will be driving back on Memorial Day. But we'll see. Just excited for new things. I think that's everything. It actually was a lot, but we got a good little 40 some odd minute episode going on here. So I will get this turned around for y'all and uploaded. If you have any questions, comments, if I talk too fast, if I mumbled, just drop them down below. I will try to answer them. I try to acknowledge every comment I've gotten. I respond to questions. You can also email me at TallyStitcher@gmail.com. You'll see it in the end little video. And yeah, thank you for subscribing. We are almost up to 600 subscribers, which is really exciting. Y'all just keep trickling in and joining me. So I'm like, yay. Yeah. So thanks for coming along. Have a good week, good weekend. And if you guys have any Maynia plans, if you Flosstube, go ahead and tell me your Flosstube is up and you want me to go watch that, I can do that. Or whatever your plans are, or how you do Maynia. Do you do the 15 starts in the first 15 days, or all new starts, or what do you do? If you even do Maynia, sometimes you have more sense in your head and you're like, no, I would like to complete a project and then move to the next one, which is totally fine. All right, y'all have a good one, and I will see you next time. Thanks.
Well, just another bowl of butter beans or pan.